Imagine sitting in a quiet car on a dark California road in the 1960s. You hear the faint hum of traffic in the distance, and then, without warning, a shadow appears. Shots ring out. This wasn't random. This was the beginning of the reign of a killer who would terrorize Northern California, a man who would call himself the Zodiac. December 20th, 1968. Vallejo, California. The air was sharp with winter cold, and the only sound on that country road was the crunch of gravel beneath the tires of a young couple's car. Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday, just two high school students out for the evening, parked to enjoy a quiet moment away from the world. The stars stretched over them in silence. But that silence didn't last. In the darkness, someone was watching. Without warning, gunfire shattered the night. When it was over, both teens lay dead on the cold ground. Their killer had vanished, leaving nothing behind but shell casings and a trail of unanswered questions. 6 months later, July 4th weekend, 1969. Another warm night in Vallejo. Darlene Farron and Michael Mageau sat in a car at Blue Rock Springs Park, laughing, talking, just another summer night. But then headlights appeared behind them. A man stepped out, walking slowly toward their car. He raised a gun and opened fire. Bullets tore through the vehicle. Darlene was struck and fatally wounded. Michael, though badly injured, survived. The only living witness to see the Zodiac up close. His description gave police their very first sketch of the man who called himself the Zodiac. But just like before, the shooter melted into the night. No identity, no arrest, only fear, spreading wider with each attack. Weeks after the Vallejo attacks, the story took a darker turn. Newspapers across the Bay Area began receiving letters. Strange, rambling messages that would chill the public to the bone. The writer gave himself a name. This is the Zodiac speaking. It wasn't just a signature, it was a persona. In his letters, he boasted of his crimes, claiming a body count far higher than police could confirm. 37 lives, according to him. Whether it was true or just a taunt, no one knew. But one thing was certain. He wanted attention. And the letters weren't simple threats. They came with puzzles, pages of bizarre symbols, cryptic characters, and hidden messages. He demanded the newspapers print them on their front pages, warning that more would die if they refused. The public was both horrified and fascinated. Ordinary people began trying to crack his codes at their kitchen tables, while professional cryptographers struggled with the bizarre ciphers. One, the infamous 340-character code, stumped the world's best codebreakers. It wouldn't be solved until over 50 years later. The Zodiac wasn't just killing. He was playing a game, one where the prize was fear and his audience was an entire city. Killing wasn't enough for the Zodiac. What he craved was control, and the people of Northern California were his pawns. He called the police, sometimes laughing on the other end of the line, other times speaking with an eerie calm as he explained how easily he could strike again. Each call was a reminder. He was still out there, watching, choosing his next move. His letters grew bolder. He bragged about shooting from a moving car, about slipping away into the night without a trace. In one note, he even scolded the newspapers, mocking them for underreporting his crimes, as if his deadly acts were headlines he believed deserved more ink. Every move, every word, every cryptic symbol he sent was calculated to keep the public on edge. And it worked. For ordinary people across Northern California, life suddenly felt different. A walk at night, a car parked on a quiet road, it could all be a trap. The Zodiac had turned fear into his greatest weapon. The harder the police searched, the further the Zodiac seemed to slip away. Hundreds of tips poured in, dozens of suspects were questioned, and endless interviews filled case files. But every lead unraveled. The killer remained a ghost. And then, just as suddenly as he had appeared, he was gone. The stream of letters dried up. The murders stopped. The taunts fell silent. Speculation ran wild. Had he died? Had he moved on to another city, blending into a new life? Or was he still out there, hiding in plain sight, watching the world wonder about his identity? What remained was not a name, not an arrest, not justice, only a legend. A faceless figure who left behind terror, mystery, and questions that may never be answered. The identity of the Zodiac Killer remains one of the great unsolved riddles of American crime. Decades on, his unsolved puzzles still haunt us, proof that the darkest stories are often the ones without an ending. In the end, the Zodiac may be gone, but the shadow he cast over Northern California will never disappear.